Same drugs no more. We don't do the same drugs. Do the same drugs no more. Benignity. That's your guys' word today. Benignity. We don't do the same drugs. Do the same drugs no more. Well, I'm gonna wait for about 1 minute until the connection of Facebook gets on. We can continue to go forward. I don't know what's up with Facebook. Facebook seems to sometimes like have a failing time all the time. I don't know. Try this again with Facebook. What's happening? What's happening? Good morning to you. I'm trying to see what, like, Facebook has a hard time sometimes. I don't know why they do this, but sometimes they have the sometimes they don't like good morning. Sometimes Facebook is always giving me a fit. So we're gonna go ahead and there we go. Let's try this again. I don't know what it is. They just sometimes do. I have no idea. Good morning, Facebook. I hope everything's up and working now. I'll know like in the next, there it is right there. That's all I needed to know right there. Because usually Facebook has like this time with it where sometimes you have to wait for the audience to come on versus YouTube and Periscope. I don't have to do that, you know. Hope you're doing awesome. You know what? I'm doing awesome all the time, Jordan. You know what? Every single moment that I get up, you know, reality. Here's a reality check. Every single day I get up. What is, you mean Kaizen? Kaizen is continuous improvement. So for those that don't know, it's continuous improvement. So there you go. But no, I wake up every single morning. Just with enthusiasm. You know, I wake up, if God gives me another breath, that is the lung of inspiration. You should already know that, you know. For those who have been following me long enough, they know how I wake up every single morning like this. It's just my nature now. It's just become a habit, and it's all praise to God, you know. So, you know, and then I get to the bathroom and I wash my face with determination and brush my teeth with optimism. And now there's a lot of people starting to understand it. They're starting to definitely find that confidence within themselves to see that, you know what I mean? You wake up every single day like that. The more that you continue to put it into practice, the better it becomes. So, I mean, you know, it's like that, you know, it's like that saying, you know, I wake up with motivation and apply habit to my inspiration, and it becomes phenomenal, you know? So that's what I do, you know? I absolutely love it. Well, I got to get going a little bit, so I want to go ahead and get into the proverb today. Today is the 25th, which means you have 36 days. 36 days, my friends. 36 days, and this year is absolutely over. So you have to start applying the information that, you know, is given to you each and every single day, you know, and in light that, you know what, when you get the information that you change the situation gradually. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, the great pyramids of Egypt, the great cathedrals of Rome were never built in one night. You know, it's process. It's continuous process. You know, even through the scriptures, we find a lot of times where the disciples were going through process. We find throughout our generation and throughout history, we find a lot of greats. I mean, a prime individual is Thomas Edison. You know what I'm saying? Just process. I mean, over, you know, 60,000 inventions and only 10,000 actually worked, you know. But I mean, just to see the wittiness and grit of what you apply each and every single day to your life and how it grows, you know. So I wanted to give you that, you know. So I definitely want to get engaged in something, because somebody got at me this week and said, Coach, can you please speak on children? And she said teens. So I have 2 teens and I have a child that's 9 years old. So my title, if you've not seen the title is obedience. And you know what? Obedience goes into every single aspect of who you are, where you're going. Because it is fact, man. If you are not obedient with who you are, what you say you are, and where you are, and where you say you're at, and where you're going and who you say you're going with is you have to be obedient, man. You know, obedience is the very best way to show that you believe, you know, and that's true, man. It's an old Sunday school song, man. And the more that I look at it, that word, the more I start to understand, you know what, there's a lot of people that go through life that are unobedient. You know what I'm saying? They don't give ear, or they don't give heart to what is being said. And so therefore you're unobedient. And kids today are falling into that same category. And it's not always the parent's fault. You got to remember the greatest thing, and this goes into one of my chapters in my book, is choices. You have the number one choice to be obedient or be disobedient. You know, unobedient. You know, disobedient, but it's openly and desirably unto you what you do with it, you know. And I look at that and I say, okay, you know what? It is absolute fact that the more that, you know, there is no present advantage by dismaying your mind, your noble mind, for kids to continue just to do what they do. It's because of basically ignorance. They fall ignorant to the teaching, to the principles of life. And they don't give ear to true understanding and knowledge. And that's one of the most exceptional principles in life. And even throughout the whole book of Proverbs, the book of Proverbs in the Bible is a book of wisdom. And a lot of people don't understand that. In fact, there's only probably 1% of people that really understand that in this world today. So it's vague. It's very vague. But I'm going to go ahead and give you scripture today before we get out of here. So listen real closely, because this is in Proverbs 25, verse 19. It says this: confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth or a foot at a joint. So I don't know if you've ever had a broken finger or something at a joint, but it hurts. It's ailing. Well, that's the same thing as what King Solomon is talking about, is don't put your confidence in men that are ailing, that have a broken foot. You know, none of that. Unfaithful men, you don't put your confidence in. You know, so you're looking for people that are confident. You know, it's like I told my brother the other day, I told my brother Shane this. I says, only quality people. I only want to surround myself with quality people. I only want to surround myself with quality people. And so I tell my kids, case in point, I tell my kids to be very obedient of their mother and father, to honor their mother and father, but also understand that I want to surround them. I want their surrounding. My wife, their mother, wants their surrounding to be with quality people. Why? Because it doesn't entice them to do bad things. Hello? You know, case in point is, you know what? We have a lot of kids in America and throughout the world that are engulfed in their environment, and their environment is negative. There might be bits and pieces of positive in there, but for the most part, it's negative. They surround themselves with negative attention. So therefore, they become negative, and their actions are negative, and their choices are negative. So what if your family isn't quality people and it's all you got? Okay, so question. What if it isn't quality people? Then you make it quality. You have to absolutely make it quality. Is it going to take time? Absolutely. What did I say earlier in the conversation? Is Rome wasn't built overnight. The great pyramids of Egypt were not built overnight. Throughout America, it was not built overnight. It takes time, but it takes sacrifice and discipline. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. So if you're obedient with the steps and principles of getting that surrounding, that environment to be great, to be phenomenal, to be positive, to be vibrant, then guess what it'll be? It'll be that, but it takes time. It takes sculpting. You know what I mean? Like the statue of David wasn't done overnight. It took time and time. So, I mean, it's a sculpture in itself. You know what I'm saying? People have to sculpture their art. You know, I say every single morning when I wake up, I'm going to make today a masterpiece. Every single day. That's why I wake up with enthusiasm. That's why I wake up with determination. That's why I wake up with optimistic outlook for life. My vision of outlook is all optimism. Why? Because I wake up with a notion that, you know what, every single day is going to be a sculptor. I can't sculpt my family, though. It takes time. I'm serious. It takes absolute time. You have nothing but time right now. You know, the brevity, I told you right now, the brevity is shortness of time. You have the shortness of this time. You have 36 days to start working. So you got a head start. Maybe in 2017, you could work your family into being phenomenal. Maybe you can work your kids into being phenomenal for 2017. Let that be your desire. Let that be your zen of who you are, what you want. You know, represent Kaizen into your life. Putting Kaizen into your life is self-improvement, right? So continuous self-improvement, but put that into your kids. Continuous improvement in them. Show them, take time out, take time out. You know what? Take time out, go to the movies, take time out, go to the park, take time out, but find different things that you could do to interact, to bring that closer, because they are your heart. They are your heart. And so being obedient is absolutely everything I just put and laid out on the table for you. Is be obedient with it. Everything. You have to be obedient. Your kids have to be obedient. You know what? I said this before. chasing at the child. You know, you have to sometimes correct them. You know, and sometimes the correction is not exactly what you're absolutely looking for. I mean, looking at today's society, I can definitely point out individuals, and it's not being judgmental, but I can definitely case in point. My observations are strong. I can definitely see who's been disciplining their kid and how they've been disciplining them. You know what I mean? Time out, Tommy, time out, Jimmy, time out, Jose, time out. You know what I mean? Nate, I mean, time out is for the adult to definitely reflect and analyze their children and their children's behavior. That's the only time out that should ever be said. Other than that, you know what? Even my son today, he's 16 years old. I got a 14-year-old. If they act a fool, they're going to be chastened. That's all there is to it. We'll watch later. Got a display. Rich, I appreciate you being on, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But it's a fact, you know, that you definitely have to put in, you know, what you want from your children. You got to put in more time. So I wanted to share that with you this morning about being obedient. You know, you got to definitely break away from those forces of thought that everybody represents. You know, and one of the things that I take away from Mark Twain, he says, to do right is wonderful. To teach others to do right is even more wonderful and easy. And that's so true. So teach your kids to do wonderful things, you know what I'm saying? And so that they can do wonderful things. So, you know, they follow the tradition of the golden rule. Do unto others you want done unto you, you know. So I look at that and definitely say that it's time to definitely step back, analyze yourself as a parent, be obedient to yourself, be obedient to your family, be obedient to your kids, and help them to be obedient into today's society. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys a little later.